Have you ever wondered why some software applications are becoming worldwide success while others are failing in a very spectacular way? Today we are going to learn about software development life cycle. And I will explain why it is a backbone of IT software project. I will explain how this is dramatically reducing any bugs on the production, how it is improving the quality of the software which is developed. Let's dive in. My name is Peter. I am professional project manager with over 20 years of experience and PhD degree. And you are watching Smart Projects, Smart Skills. Today I'm going to share with you my experience from running IT software projects, and I was running these projects back in 2005 for the first time. So although it's past 20 years, I think the backbone, which is based on the so-called software development lifecycle, still stays the same. Okay, so why are we using this SDLC? This is the abbreviation, SDLC. We are using SDLC in order to identify in a correct way all the user's requirements, to reduce the risk that the software we are creating will work not in the way we want it to, and at the same time increasing quality of this software. Okay, so where do we start? First phase of the SDLC is, we can call it planning phase, designing phase, or some people call it brainstorming phase. So this is where you get all the team together, project manager, customer, users or users representatives, developers, testers, architects, everybody in one room, potentially in the form of the workshop, and you are brainstorming all the ideas. And as a result of this stage, you should come up with user requirements, potential design, kind of interface design, how it should potentially look like, what should be the user experience using this software when it's on the production, risks identified, assumptions, which is very important, because then we are kind of on the same page, that we are together, we are agreeing what are assumptions under which we'll create this software and it will be running. And that is why I used expression at the beginning of the video that very often this SDLC, it's a backbone of the IT project management, because exactly, risk, assumptions, these are also standard things you are putting together in the planning phase of the project. So when you are building a software, this SDLC process with project management processes are going hand in hand. Okay, so after this kind of stage or workshops, we are putting that everything on paper. So meaning we are, okay, this was kind of brainstorming phase. Now we want to document that so that everybody can read it and understand and can have some time to think about it. Is there any, so purpose of this stage is that everything is documented. We are checking if we haven't forgot about anything. Users, developers, testers are having time to find any potential gaps. So then we are checking, we are enhancing if needed. And once we have the final document about that, then we can create something which is called, or it's used to be called, detailed technical requirements. And this technical requirements document, this specification, is translating user requirements and initial high-level business assumptions into the technical specification. So it's definitely more detailed document, it's definitely more technical, and it would be serving team of developers in order to create this application. So simply to write the code. Okay, and now we can go to the next phase. Next phase would be development phase. So in the past it was done by developers. Nowadays, of course, it is done with the support of AI. So as far as I know, nowadays around up to 60 or even 70% of the code is done by AI. Of course, it is under supervision and under the direction of the developers. So, and depending whether you are running project in agile way or waterfall approach. So if it's a waterfall approach, you are finishing development phase and then it goes into the testing phase. If you have more agile approach, we can imagine these two phases kind of happening together. So part of the code, some functionalities are being developed and gave to the users for testing, and while they are testing this, developers are working on other parts of the application. So that's why I'm saying it's like, and this is the most common scenario. So even organizations which are running projects in a waterfall approach, so the classic waterfall is at the beginning of this project, IT software development project, and at the end. But very often development and testing phase is kind of mixed. Because also if some bug is found and it needs to be fixed, it's again coming back to the developers. So these two phases, development and testing phase, are kind of running in parallel. And again, depending what is the project methodology in which this project is run, it can be structured in a different ways. But as a final result, we need to get a product which is developed and tested. Okay, now let's talk a bit about testing phase. Testing phase, of course, it's an extremely important phase of software development lifecycle. I should even say it's the most important phase, and I will explain in a second why. So, of course, if the testing phase is performed in a comprehensive way and you have good testers, good test scenarios, enough time to do it in a correct way, then of course you are increasing probability that majority or all the bugs would be found and they would be fixed. And it's like obvious, the lower the number of defects application is having on the production, the better would be its quality and user experience. Okay, and now let's distinguish what phases we can name within testing stage. So first, something which is called unit testing. So it's still, some people put it together in the development phase. At the end of the development, when developer is finished with creating some part of the code, delivering some particular functionality, he's testing that himself, or maybe his colleague, another developer, is testing that. So it's a kind of, we can call it quick and dirty testing. If this is successful, then it goes to the customer. But this simple, okay, from developer to customer is only if you have quite a simple system without any need for integration. Now, if you are building software where 2 or 3 systems are involved and they should communicate with each other, so then you need to have another phase in the testing stage. and this phase is called system integration testing. It's not done by end users, it's still done by technical people, and usually these are specialized teams in IT departments. So they are specialized testers, but they are also technical IT people. So during system integration testing, we are testing that the messages which are flying between the systems are, so if the system was supposed to send some data to another system, was it sent in the right way? Was it received? Is everything working? So after unit testing, we have system integration testing, and only if this is successful, then it can be given to the user to test in so-called UAT, user acceptance testing. And in this phase, users are testing, is it working as it should be? And in this phase, we should encourage users to really perform this testing in a very comprehensive way. And not only check against test scenario, because test scenario will always reflect what was in the user's requirements designed, as you may remember in this brainstorming session at the very beginning of the SDLC. But users can also give us feedback about other things which are not related to the functionality, because very often we can't imagine and plan everything at the beginning. So if user is spotting something which is decreasing user experience in interacting with this application, it should be also noted and it should be also fixed. So that's why I'm saying this phase is really very important, user acceptance testing, and it's, I think, more art than exact science. Okay, if we finished that stage of SDLC, it means that product is tested, users are happy with this piece of software, so it means it can go on production. But it can't just go like this. You need to prepare for that. So in majority of the organizations, you have so-called release process. So a set of instructions and procedures in what way we are releasing the code to the production. And again, it will depend if organization is working in waterfall or agile methodologies, but always we have this kind of process in place, and this process is determining how often we are releasing code to the production. Normally, if this is agile, under agile it's done very frequently, maybe even daily, maybe once a week. And if we are running projects in waterfall, it can be once a month or even once a quarter. Depends on the setup. So once we consider that, planned everything, and we are good to go, so we have some release date, and then this application goes on production. And from that date, maintenance and so-called BAU process is starting. BAU, business as usual. So it needs this stage, although it's after putting software into production, but it's also to be considered as SDLC, so Software Development Lifecycle, because it needs to be planned during the project. So you need to plan resources, you need to plan capacity, you need to train these resources who are supposed to support this application on the production. And also you need to agree between users and IT developers how we would be fixing the bugs which are found on the production, because it will happen from time to time. And also how we would be enhancing this product while on production. So which functionality we can enhance in this BAU process, and which functionalities potentially we need to, for which we need to open a new project. Okay, that is all I have prepared. I'm hoping this video is something you like. I am Dr. Project and you watched Smart Projects, Smart Skills. Thank you very much. Good luck and goodbye.